You're outside with your dog. Beautiful day. They've had their breakfast, fresh water in the bowl, every need met. And then they stop. They lower their head and they start eating the grass. Not sniffing it, not rolling in it, eating it, deliberately, methodically, like they skipped a meal. You stand there watching and think one of two things. Either they must have an upset stomach, or my dog is just weird. Both of those explanations have been repeated so many times they feel like fact. Both of them are almost certainly wrong, because the real reason your dog eats grass isn't about their stomach, and it isn't random. It's ancient, it's biological, and once you understand what's actually happening, that moment, your dog grazing in the backyard like a small, confused cow will never look the same again. The standard explanation has been around for decades. Your dog eats grass because their stomach is upset. The grass irritates the stomach lining, causes vomiting, and they feel better. It sounds logical. It's the kind of thing your vet probably told you. It's what almost every dog owner believes. There's just one problem. In 2008, researchers at the University of California, Davis ran the largest scientific study ever conducted on grass eating in dogs. They surveyed over 3,000 dog owners, and what they found dismantled the standard explanation almost entirely. Only 9% of dogs showed signs of illness before eating. 22% vomited afterward. That means the vast majority of dogs, more than 75%, eat grass with no signs of illness beforehand and don't vomit afterward. The stomach upset theory, which has been repeated as fact for generations, explains a small minority of grass-eating episodes at best. So what explains the rest? The answer requires going back further than your dog's last meal. It requires going back approximately 15,000 years to the wolves that became domestic dogs. Researchers studying wolf behavior in the wild, including studies from Yellowstone National Park, found something that fundamentally reframes this entire question. Wolves eat grass too. Grass and plant material has been found in wolf stool samples at rates between 11 and 47%, depending on the study. And crucially, researchers found something remarkable when they examined those samples closely. Blades of grass wrapped around intestinal worms. Not swallowed and dissolved, intact, wrapped around parasites, helping them to carry them out of the body. Here's what the research shows is happening. When an animal ingests grass without chewing it properly, the fibrous blades pass through the intestinal tract largely undigested, but as they move through, they do two things. First, they increase intestinal motility, the speed and intensity of the contractions that move material through the gut. Second, the rough fibrous blades physically wrap around intestinal parasites, nematodes, roundworms, and carry them out of the body with the stool. Dr. Benjamin Hart at the University of California, Davis, who led the landmark grass-eating study, described this as a likely inherited behavior from ancestral wolves, for whom intestinal parasites were a constant threat. Your dog, eating grass in your backyard, may be performing an act of self-medication that predates veterinary care by tens of thousands of years. Now here's where it gets more nuanced, because not all grass eating is the same. The UC Davis research identified something important. Younger dogs eat grass significantly more than older dogs. Why would age matter? Because younger animals are less immune to intestinal parasites. Their immune systems haven't yet built the defenses that come with age and exposure, and so the instinct to eat grass, to purge, is stronger in young dogs than in adults. This mirrors almost exactly what researchers have observed in chimpanzees, who also eat whole leaves specifically to purge intestinal parasites. The behavior is more common in younger, more vulnerable individuals. The second finding is even more telling. Dogs eat more grass before their morning meal, when they're hungriest, than at any other time of day. This isn't a coincidence. A hungry animal is more likely to engage in foraging behaviors. The act of seeking grass, lowering the head, eating deliberately. These are ancient foraging patterns. They predate kibble. They predate domestication. Your dog doesn't know they have a food bowl waiting. Their evolutionary programming doesn't know that. It just knows find plant material, process it, purge. Here's what the research says about the other explanations, because there are more than one. Nutritional fiber. Some researchers have proposed that grass eating supplements a fiber deficiency. There is one documented case, an 11-year-old poodle who had eaten grass and vomited for 7 years. When switched to a high-fiber diet, the behavior stopped entirely. So for some dogs, some of the time, this may be a factor. Displacement behavior. Dr. Emily Blackwell at the University of Bristol has proposed that grass eating can be a displacement behavior, something animals do when they have conflicting motivations or suppressed anxiety, similar to how humans might pace or tap a foot when nervous. This would explain why some dogs seem to eat grass more intensely in certain situations, when anxious, overstimulated, or in unfamiliar environments. They simply like it. This one surprises people, but multiple researchers have concluded that for some dogs, some of the time, there is no deeper explanation. The taste, the texture, the sensation, some dogs just enjoy it. The honest scientific answer is that grass eating in dogs is probably not one thing. It's several things, operating through the same behavior for different dogs in different situations. Here's what matters practically, and this is the part most owners get wrong. The grass itself, in most cases, is not the problem. The grass is almost certainly fine. What's on the grass is a different story. Pesticides and herbicides applied to lawns can be toxic to dogs, not mildly irritating, genuinely toxic. And a dog eating treated grass can ingest enough chemical to cause serious harm. The second risk is rarely discussed: parasites. The very parasites that grass eating evolved to expel can also be found on grass, in the soil, in the environment. A dog eating grass in a park or field used by other dogs is potentially ingesting parasite eggs that their wolf ancestors were trying to purge. There's a certain evolutionary irony here. The behavior that evolved to remove parasites can, in the modern world, introduce them. Signs that grass eating is worth a vet call. 1. It's sudden and intense. A dog who has never eaten grass before, who suddenly starts eating it obsessively. That change in behavior matters. 2. They appear ill first. If your dog is clearly nauseous, lethargic, or uncomfortable before eating grass, that's the small minority that the stomach upset theory actually applies to. Pay attention. 3. They vomit repeatedly after. Occasional post-grass vomiting is normal. Repeated vomiting is not. 4. The grass was recently treated. If you don't know the chemical history of where your dog is grazing, that's reason for caution. Consider the picture this paints. Your dog, domesticated, vaccinated, dewormed, fed premium kibble twice a day, still carries in their genes a behavior that existed in wolves hunting across Yellowstone 10,000 years ago. A behavior so biologically useful, so deeply encoded that 15,000 years of domestication and artificial selection couldn't remove it. When your dog stops on a walk and lowers their head to eat grass, something ancient is activating. Not stupidity, not boredom, not a confused stomach. A biological program running quietly in the background, doing exactly what it was designed to do. Your dog doesn't know they're free of intestinal parasites. Their genes don't know that either. They just know there is grass, there is an urge, and the urge is older than anything in your house. So the next time your dog stops mid-walk and starts grazing, and you feel that familiar mix of amusement and mild concern, remember what's actually happening. A behavior carried across 15,000 years, from wolves in Yellowstone to your backyard, from a world full of parasites to a world of kibble and dewormers. The behavior remained. The need it evolved for mostly disappeared, but the program is still running. If this changed how you'll see the next grass-eating moment, subscribe. See you then!